Wow, gozaimasu, shredheads! Today I want to talk to you about the dream I've always had in my head. And even why this channel kind of exists. And that's because ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be like really good at an instrument. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like the best violin player alive. The first time I heard violin, I was like, this is such a beautiful sound. I think it was like classical violin. I was really into classical music and even jazz and all sorts of like genres when I was a kid. The genres that you hear all the time in cartoons, the biggest thing that really inspired me musically as a kid was Fantasia, as well as video game music. And that stuff just really stuck with me even until I was a teenager and I discovered guitar. My cousin introduced me to the guitar and he thought it would be a cool thing to do. And so I started listening to guitar, and I really found such an inspiration when I first heard Van Halen. It really just drove me insane just to listen to. It was like, there's nothing better than listening to Van Halen. Like, every song they do is so good. Even their worst songs are pretty good. Their worst song, however, is that country song they did with Sammy Hagar. I can't remember what it was called, but it's the worst, but it's still tolerable. But anyway, Eddie Van Halen inspired me so freaking much, and I just played guitar all day long. I didn't play guitar the way you're supposed to play guitar in order to get better. Like, I did get better as a guitarist, but I embedded so many mistakes, and there's going to be a big thing throughout this entire arc of me trying to achieve virtuosity on guitar. And honestly, I'm not there. I'm not even like, I wish I was better at guitar, and I'm practicing every day now to get better. But the thing that has held me back so much when it comes to becoming a virtuoso is really myself. And that's one thing I really like about the instrument, is that it's a very challenging thing to do. Like, it will really help build character within you and really help you build mental mental characteristics that will help you throughout life. And guitar, as much fun as I had, and as pretty good that I got with it, the thing that really perpetuated me was that people really liked it. They're like, oh, that's really good. That's really cool. When I show them like two-hand tapping or my version of Eruption, which wasn't the greatest, but it's for a kid that had like no self-esteem whatsoever. I probably still have self-esteem issues, but like, you know, growing up, that you're just so, I don't know, you're trying to find your identity as well as what you're good at. And guitar, for me, I just latched onto it. And honestly, I think a big thing that held me back for a very, very long time with guitar is that I put a lot of my ego into guitar, and I really didn't dissect it until way later. And having any sort of criticism towards my guitar playing really just ripped me up inside, because that was like my entire worth as a being back in the day. You know, it sounds stupid from looking at it through the back view mirror, but that's the way people are. That's the way, yeah, people are in general. Like, just growing up, like, you don't, it's just, life is a very hard thing, and you're trying to find ways to feel good about yourself, you know, and guitar was a great way to feel good about myself. And that's why, honestly, I stayed away as largely as possible from music communities because of the criticism, even though I was unaware. I even started YouTube like 2, 3, 4 times, and anytime I would get criticism, it was really hard to take. And like, the hardest thing for me, honestly, besides the criticism, was definitely the separation ego. But that happened eventually, where I was like, you know what, I quit guitar like 4 or 5 times, and I was like, you know, I need to just, this is not me. Guitar is not me. There's more to myself than guitar. And honestly, it takes years and even decades to build that sort of confidence where you're so wrapped up into this one thing as your source of value, your self-value, that you can even rip yourself apart from it. But I found myself actually coming back together with guitar, mainly for the fun of it. But honestly, the more confidence that grows in you every year, the more easier it gets to achieve things. And the biggest thing to achieve anything is just persistence. And and honestly, I think I can be persistent to a fault. And the thing that held me back technically on guitar for years was really just playing way too fast all the time. Like I heard my entire life just to play slow and perfect, and the speed will come and all this stuff. And I would do really, really well doing a lot of this slow stuff for months, maybe, you know, a month or two. But it's so hard to reel things in speed-wise back in order to create that muscle memory. And it wasn't until last year, I think, I figured, I really just erased the entire chalkboard. And I'm like, you know what? Where can I begin now? Like, how can I structure a practice now that incorporates muscle memory fully? Because that's the only time I had an aha, well, not the only time. There's been a couple aha moments, but that was a huge one where I was like, you know what, muscle memory is everything for skill. And when it comes to playing perfectly, this has to be a longer thing than just a few months. This has to be like every single time you play guitar, you play slowly and very detail-oriented, and you try your absolute best every time you play guitar to get things down as ideally as possible. And definitely the speed comes, but it is very slow to come. I would say a lot of times, like for me personally, if I come up with a lick on guitar and I'm playing it very slowly, it takes me maybe about like 3 months to get like a performance speed. But now I just accept it and I just play it slowly. Like right now I'm doing these Final Fantasy type arpeggios. I think they're 7s, maybe 9s, I can't remember. And like I can't play them fast, so I just play them slow now, and they sound good slow. But honestly, like if you're trying to impress people or even impress yourself, like you have to humble yourself in order to play that slow consistently. Or if you're playing something very, very fast and you feel like you have it down. The thing that's weird about guitar is you can always feel like you have something down, and the next day it can just be like you're playing the worst possible way possible. There's no like solid line. If anything, you're moving your bass line up with guitar, your bass line for security of the lick that you can play. It's never going to be 100% perfect, even if you practice it for years and years. You're always going to have to consistently work on it. If you're playing too fast and it's not coming out right, you need to slow it down. Like if that's one warning sign I would give to any instrumentalist whatsoever, is you should slow it down. You're going to save you 1,000 times more years playing it slow and having your muscle memory just naturally take over for speed than you will be to just try to force it and play fast. Don't force guitar, don't force any instrumentation, but really that was a huge thing for me, and I feel like I'm making real good progress now in order to achieve my dream of being a virtuoso. I don't know if it will ever happen, but it's fun to work on every single day, and it really helps me mentally just build confidence, because after I changed out the way I practiced after like 10, 15 years, and I'm seeing real results now. There's a lot of these limiting beliefs I've had, like that I just could not play without making a mistake, they just seem like child's play. Like, why did I believe in that for so many years? It just kept me back so long, and that's it's that can go with any area of life. Everything is easier once you get through it. You know, you look back on it, you're like, wow, that was not a big thing. But when you're looking at things from a future perspective, or when you're looking at things from the present to the future, you're like, this looks impossible. How can I even achieve this? And I think that's the biggest thing I learned from guitar. And the instrument itself is great. I love playing music. I love working on things. This entire YouTube channel is just an extension of me just trying to grow as a person, really. I think a big step for me was being able to take criticism for guitar. And now, honestly, I'm still my biggest critic. And now when people criticize me guitar, I'm completely fine with it, because to me, guitar is, I don't know, it's a very personal thing. I'm not really trying to like be the most dominant person alive on guitar, because honestly, when I watch YouTube and when I listen to modern music, there's so many amazing guitarists out there. Like, technically, everything is so covered. Like, there's nothing I can do that will top any of those guys. But the thing that really perpetuates me with guitar, as well as just expression, comes from the very root of why I even started playing guitar. I really like having your own type of sound and being able to create your own type of expression through music. That's always been like this reoccurrent thing in music that just really gets me going, gets my juice going. When I hear Eddie Van Halen play guitar, he could play one note, and I could be like, that's Eddie Van Halen. Or Eric Johnson, one note, Eric Johnson. Steve Vai, you know. It's just so, just having that individual expression on the instrument is just so paramount to me. And that's what really keeps me going with the instrument, as well as to see the progress every day. Like, there's stuff that I just suck at that after a month or two I can play flawlessly, and it just makes me feel so freaking good to play it like that. And I just figure thought I would make this video for every guitarist out there, every instrumentalist out there, because it is taking on music is a very personal thing. It's not like this big, it can be this big ego thing, but I think it's bigger than that. It goes really into this adventure. It's like the as cheesy as it sounds, it's like a hero's journey, you know? You're really trying to achieve this insurmountable thing, and it's really helping you cultivate character alongside it. Like, it's not easy, and I think everything in life that's very hard should be taken the same way. Everything if you think something's hard, but you're really motivated to do it, I think that's really going to help you create that character within you that's really going to help you throughout life, as well as to help other people in life. I think the more character and the more confidence and the more shaped you become throughout life, the easier it is for you to really affect the world in a very positive way. I find people that are very powerful, yet they have very, very dark characteristics. They don't have that virtue, and I don't know. Maybe I'm going a bit too deep into this, but I just feel like, in general, your life's purpose should just be to grow and to bloom as a human being and to try to your best just to become the best version of yourself. I know that's cheesy and everybody says it. Every entrepreneur, everybody on YouTube says this crap, but it's very true, because there's no, if there wasn't anything like that, what is the entire point of living? So to me, growth and learning is the biggest thing. It's like a flower that blooms and dies. That's the same. They have shorter lifespans, but human beings are the same way. You begin and you die, and you want to fully bloom. If you're not working on becoming better every day, you're dying. So I think that's the key to a very long and healthy life, is just to be continually working on yourself, continually working on your craft, and just keep doing your thing and becoming better and better every single day, and really just refining who you are, because at the end of the day, you are great just as you are. But the thing is, you want to be the best version of yourself, and there's so many things that just either you're just unconsciously ignorant of, or that you are just not refined enough to find your own true values for. And I think as time goes on, you become more conscious of who you are and reality around you, and you can really affect yourself as well as the entire world around you. Just to get into the woo-woo things, because I'm really into the woo-woo stuff. But thank you so much for watching, and if you have any type of things like this with your own adventure in music, let me know down in the comments. It would be great to just see how many people resonate with this type of video. But thank you so much for watching.